Sorry for the delay, we had another print come in from Taco Bell we had to look at. I got one that works.
I look at some, they're out there.
Ready?
I'm just out of recording, sorry.
Call the meeting to order, 7:05. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Rokas,
Here.
Roof,
Here.
Fletcher,
Here.
Sinek. Here. Campbell, here.
Approval of the minutes. Any changes to make? And I have requested again from supervisor to have a person take minutes for us. Any changes or corrections? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment on agenda. Please limit it to 3 minutes and this shouldn't be public comment. If you are going to come up, please give your name and address.
Brad Eddy, 1890 South Huron Road. I have brought to the chair the C3 zoning that was in existence before the last master plan that involves both my mother-in-law and father-in-law's properties and the Eddy brothers' properties. So all of those are township minutes that were withheld through subpoena and FOIA in the township vault. So I think it's time for the township to resurrect C3 commercial that my family had in those minutes that were all posted previously in, I believe, Bay City Times and the Democrat. So with that said, I heard that the master plan was getting reviewed. I think that is something that should be under review because even Mr. Rokas' property up at Huron Road, R&R, was C3 previously. How did it turn to industrial? My family never turned to industrial. My father-in-law never turned to industrial. And my father-in-law never turned his to C2. So I have just given my mother-in-law these this evening. So I think you guys will be getting some information from both my wife and her. And then on the master plan, page 2. You guys have the specifics of Spicer beginning this master plan in 2016. That's false. They started this master plan in July of 2015 with Jim Barsha, Laura Olgar, in signing Spicer the access to their GIS department. So I don't want anybody to misinterpret when Mr. Braggle began this endeavor. I think it states in there that it ended in 2022. Now, he changed many, many properties, and I actually have documents that I FOIA'd with his signature and his handwriting to show all the lands that he zoned. I have not found, nor others, when they FOIA'd minutes of rezoning, these seem to be done at a supervisor / zoning administrator's free will. As we know now, he did much of that. When it comes to the uses of C3 that my family had, it would prove that everything we've done in the past has been perfectly legal. And the township came after us for master plan reasons, I believe, that benefit certain families that are prominent in this township, and I think that's the way that it goes. So whoever the masters are, I just would like to be them to be equal with the citizens. Again, the master plan that you guys have out, I told you guys last time I spoke that the property lines are wrong on many different properties. So I don't know where Spicer is getting their property lines, but mine are totally inaccurate, like I told you guys before, and they've never been adjusted. I have submitted a flash drive to the township board, and in that it stated that the Whelans were starting an RV park, the whistleblower did, next to my property. I hope that's not true, but we still have not found out how the Whelans even changed it from C3 or industrial to residential now. And then I see in your future land use that Don's looking at right now, I mean, it shows that the Whelans are future to be commercial in your land use. So if there's some kind of surprise, I'd like the board to talk about it with us before we get surprised. We don't need any more. And if that's a goal, let us know. We can be up for sale, but it's not our goal. Our goal is to stay there and to see our history getting erased, both my wife's family and mine. I think it's a target, and if you were to look at the zoning map that you guys got, the target went right over my building. And Don, what you just pointed out right there, there's an M13 logo on that, and it's right on my property, so you can't really see most of my property. I think that's real ignorant. If that was done for a plan, why don't you move it up the road?
I don't understand what you're talking about, M13 logo.
There's an M13 logo right on that
State
plan.
highway with marker
Right on me.
covering up that section.
It's kind of like putting a bullseye on me, and I think I've had a bullseye long enough. I think it's time to move that bullseye around. I know I'd love for you guys to give me the option to move it. So, I don't know how it got there, but I think you guys should look into it all. And I really do believe that if you were to look at, even like I said, Mr. Rokas' property, it was C3, commercial. How did it get to I-1, Pat? I don't know, but it's something that you should be concerned about. You've been selling buildings on your property. I tried, and we had charges against us. So I don't know if it's just a favoritism thing in the community. I do, in this book I gave you, it does show, but I don't know if it was a past relative of yours or not, but they were on the planning commission back then when all of these properties, the dockets and the eddies were changed. So I don't know if there was a Rokas that's related to you that was on the planning commission, but some things, when I see a picture of your property right next to industrial, why ain't I on the list? I mean, who picked that picture?
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I'm running for supervisor.
Anybody else? Well, reason to be quiet.
I got something to say.
Absolutely.
You know, for a year and a half,
You give your name and background.
Tony Martin, 2727.
Can you turn the mic on? I'm sorry. I didn't have to go over there.
Here. Is it on? I'm sorry, I can speak loud
It's no
enough.
problem.
We were just looking to get it recorded, that's all. There you go. Sorry.
For a year and a half, I've been trying to sell an acre of my land to Taco Bell. It's been stretched out. I've got money invested, they've got money invested, and I can't sell it. I need to sell it. And they're concerned about water. Water goes somewhere. It storms, there's water, in a couple hours, it's gone. What is the holdup?
Well, we have their stuff now. Hold up with the drain commission. She had to get something from the drain commissioner saying what the requirements were for. And twice he's revised that. This is the most current revision that meets it within like 2,000 cubic feet.
2,000.
They wanted twice the 100-year floodplain storage there on the lot.
So what's the biggest concern in the stopper now then?
Nothing, we just got this yesterday. Okay?
Yesterday.
So, yeah, we've been on this to get in the drain commission, been dragging their feet, giving the information.
Why do they do that?
Talk to them, I don't know. We ask, it's not up us to go out and go knock on the door to get it. You have to get this in order to get this cleared.
I certainly
We've
don't
done-
know how to do it.
I got that. We just got through the last hurdle, that's coming up tonight, so. I appreciate your thing, and so all we did is ask, they took care of the turn lane and the lighting stuff are our biggest concern. Everything else is all gonna meet, so, but that'll come up later in tonight's meeting, so.
Okay. Because all that stuff was started a couple months back.
Absolutely it was. Actually, it started back in October last year. Because I started getting involved, is that, so.
It's just been a long time, it's like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Government at work, right?
You gotta love it. So, but right now, you're gonna review that, and
Yeah, we
think
just got,
that'd be happening.
that was this, we just got emails and all this stuff came in yesterday. Any other email we got, Charlie just gave us copies of that today, so.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Lori DeShano, 1795 South Huron Road. Just want to remind the Planning Commission that in January of 2022, Caucalan Township Board held a town hall, a solitary town hall that we held. And I believe Mr. Roof was there. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And we had residents there who braved the cold to come and tell us what they wanted to see in their township. And the number one thing that came out of that was that they wanted more eating establishments, so when people were working in the township, and we're going to bring business in, if people are going to have jobs here, they need some place that they can go quickly to get something to eat on their lunch break. They don't have time to go to a sit-down restaurant. They like to have options. They don't want to have to leave town so that they can actually get lunch. This was a very strong sentiment from the people that were there. How are we supposed to grow if we can't even feed the people that come here to work? So because of that, I want to encourage you to really strongly consider giving the green light on Taco Bell because it's a huge investment into our community. It's a huge investment. It's a huge tax revenue, potentially, right? It's bringing people in, it's keeping the money here so people don't have to go elsewhere. Thank you.
tenants, 43 and 53 South Linwood Beach Road. We oppose the building of the properties adjacent to connected to 53 South Linwood Beach Road, the resort properties going in. 9 of our family's house's windows face that side, and you're talking a privacy fence roughly 20 feet from there, including the master bedroom. Does this affect resale value? If my parents plan on moving out soon, is that going to make their property go to a lot less than what it should be worth as of normal?
What was the address again?
53 and 43 South Linwood Beach Road, but it's the property line. I don't know if it has an address number yet because it was just purchased. It connects to our lot that goes towards the condos at the marina.
Oh, gotcha, all right.
Yep, it's a parcel lot right there. I don't know how big it is or whatnot. It may be as big as the property that we have one home on, and they're talking about putting multiple rentals on, and then they need parking space on top of. So our biggest concern is what is this going to do for our property's value, our home, and what's going on in our area too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I don't have any for public hearing, no new business, master plan. We had already basically passed, I mean, now it goes out for, oh, sorry.
Do you want me to mention where the adjustments were made?
That's, just open the folder. Open the folder. That's taken.
It doesn't have page 55, which was a question mark whether it was or wasn't a map, and they adjusted the new master plan to have it to fit the size so that it's in the plan and not oversized. So page,
I mean, basically, all we're doing is correcting the, you know, it's correcting errors. Include Hampton Township based on the chart for page 12. Change it to 14,000 vehicles, which they've done, and corrected the acreage based on information on page 2930.
and downsize the maps to fit right within it now.
What's that?
The maps actually fit right in it now instead of, originally the maps were like this.
Yeah, I got that.
So they were adjusted. I'm just saying what Sam said to me.
But the things that we have to look at and that got changed from the verbiage that we agreed on are those 3 items. The maps of convenience. I got that. I don't see a bigger map because I don't have to put my glasses on, but. And then once that is done, we have.
Someone want to make a motion to accept the modifications?
I have a question. I have a question for Mr. Eddy. You made reference to a mistake on page 2. Would you restate that mistake, please?
The mistake is that Dennis Brago and the county executive got permission to adjust the master plan, and it's even in the township minutes in 2015, July.
Okay, so where it says the planning commission met with the planning consultant between 2016 and 2022, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
And you think the date should be changed to what?
2015, July of 2015.
July of 2015?
Yep.
So they should look at that also. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Just be factual. Thank you.
What was this that we're saying?
Page 2, at the top, third sentence down. On the right, it says, it'll start at the second sentence, it says, "The Planning Commission met with the planning consultant between 2016 and 2022, and Mr. Eddie's saying it's between 2015 and 2022.
Do we have something that shows that?
Oh, yeah, I can definitely provide it.
Because that was before I got here, so I have no idea.
No, there's actual document from Laura Olgard, Jim Barsha, they all signed it. Your clerk should have it, unless he ditched that before he left.
Is there a way to make a motion contingent on finding?
Because it said it's gotta go out for, what's our schedule? She sent us that. Because once we do this, if we, the adoption of the schedule as far as making this, the timeline that it takes to done, starting April 17th, beginning of a 63-day review window, June 19th is the last day of the 63 window, public review period, August 10th, public hearing with planning commission for adoption of the master plan, adoption of the plan, and that requires a 15-day notice. Last day to publish in the paper would be July 26th, just so everybody knows the timeline that this is on. So if we do have one other change, that's why we got the review date. So if you got something in writing, I don't want to just verbally, I'm not saying you're not telling me the truth. I just want to have, if I'm putting this in here and changing that, I need something in writing to show.
Well, that's fine, Mr. Fletcher, but I did tell you also months ago about the property lines, and you never changed that. So when does that begin? I mean, they have, if your engineering firm has access to the GIS records, they should have access to the correct property lines.
As far as I know, I know you're telling me they're not, but
They're not.
you have something that shows that?
Sure do.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's all part of
It's
what,
it's in that document.
that's part of what the 63-day window is. All the other stuff, once this, because it's gonna get published on the website, everybody has a chance to see it or come in here and look at it. If any other changes in our stuff needs to be done, and that's on our June meeting, that's when all that stuff, if there's any other changes in between that, that's when we'll make record of it, wrap them up and change it. We're just changing the stuff that the board had said, needed to be redefined.
But if I'm referencing something that it don't mean anything, you don't decide to change it till I reference it again? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not the survey expert, okay? If they say this is what it is, I mean, you brought it up, but, if you got other stuff to compare
I
on
can
that.
tell you this, go to Bay County GIS, and then go to that map. It'll tell you everything.
I know how to work those, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, there's no other document needed if you know how to work it. I promise you'll understand. And there's even a map inside the booklet that I gave you. You could reference that right now and show the board. It's the one that's colored.
Well, I don't know which.
Well, if you know where the Wheeling property is, it's the yellow one. I'm the blue one, industrial.
Like you said, the 13 mark is right over your property.
Yeah, but it goes out into the field at 14 acres.
I'm looking at River Road, that's up there further.
Would you like me to come forward?
Why don't you? Yeah, please. Because I'm seeing these. I think if I remove
This is my property, see how it goes back.
You said the 13